Yeah.
Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Texas Biker Radio number 424. My name is Mel Popeye Moss. The guy sitting next to me here is Mel OG Robbins.
Woohoo!
We are your host each and every week, every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. here at Texas Biker Radio. And, wow, we got a lot to talk about tonight. It's incredible what we're witnessing since November 3rd. It's incredible. But OG, let's dive right into it. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Good Lord. Now, Attorney General Barr has announced that they've been unable to find massive voter fraud.
He's been bought off too.
He's evidently part of the deep state. He's been bought off. He's been threatened. Something is going on. Something is going on because he said the FBI, who's supposed to be the investigative arm, I guess, of the Attorney General's office, I think they do have their own investigating team.
Yes, they do.
And so they've been unable to find any fraud. That's like they're unable to. Sorry about that, guys. It's like they're unable to find terrorists before they attack this country. They're unable to find the domestic terrorists within, and of course they're unable to figure out where the voter fraud is going on at, and it's massive. If you've been paying attention, if you've been watching the briefings, if you've been watching the hearings that are going on, it is massive.
They can't see the trees for the forest.
Exactly. There's no way that Joe Biden from his basement outperformed Barack Obama. There's no way he outperformed him. He's saying he got 80 million votes. A guy that can barely finish a sentence at times. He's obviously in the early stages of dementia. And he campaigned from his basement, and when he did get out of the basement, he could barely draw 20 people. And when it was more than that, it was from a drive-in parking lot. Everybody honking their horns like a bunch of morons. So the Attorney General has obviously, he's either part of the deep state or he's been bought off. But OG, what I understand, the lawyers that make up the DOJ,
right.
A lot of them, a ton of them, are Obama appointees.
Oh yeah, and during this past 4 years, I've sat back in amazement and watched as I saw all of these contingencies continue. All these Obama appointees. I am becoming more and more convinced our only hope are those runoffs in Georgia for the Senate.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have a solid Senate, whoa, baby, they are going to strip us, barbecue us, and it's done.
Oh, yeah.
Stick a fork in us because we'll be done.
Oh, yeah. Now, listen, guys. Our hopes now are with the Supreme Court. And in that last podcast, the one that got jerked down by YouTube, and we'll be talking about that here in a bit. During that podcast, I suggested you go to the front page of TexasBikerRadio.org and send a message to the Supreme Court. Email them write them, phone them, however you want to do it. Let them know that this fraudulent election stuff has got to be fixed. It's got to be fixed now. Because we have no faith. There's 70 million of us, Trump supporters. We have no faith in the election system as it stands right now. None. Zero. And there are many Democrats that feel the same way. And if you saw the hearing that they had in Michigan today, you learned of the involvement of the post office and what they were doing. And Attorney General Barr and the FBI can't seem to find these folks because, OG, they haven't interviewed any of them.
Well, you see, here we go again. We have a systemic root cause.
Yeah.
And the root cause here is that there are no consequences.
Mm-hmm.
There are no consequences. If you think back to when folks used to bring their kids in a picnic basket to a public hanging.
Yeah.
When people were executed for kidnapping children and taking them across state lines. When people were executed for murdering people. There were consequences. Children grew up understanding and knowing you do something wrong and you do it bad enough wrong, there are severe consequences. Our entire society today lives under the umbrella that there are no consequences. The raindrops will not touch them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way they're brought up. There can't be any losers in school. Everyone gets a trophy. On and on and on.
There you go. Hey, let me remind you guys to share and like this video right now. If you've got the capability, if you're listening on a phone or whatever, share it and like it right now.
I'll take it one step further. Share it to your timeline.
Yeah.
You've got a ton of friends. They're going to be curious. They'll click on it. They might like it. They might not. And, hey, they might share it to their timeline. So help us grow.
Yeah, yeah. And so, OG, right now the clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. The mainstream media and all these people, there's all of them out there saying, oh, there's nothing there, including Attorney General Barr, who can't find the fraud, who can't find these people that are reporting it. So they're trying to run the clock out on everything. And these states are trying to, like in Michigan and other places, they've certified those votes when they still have counties that are still counting. Or they refuse to certify because it's so messed up. And Trump's team, they're not asking to go back and audit the whole vote. They're just asking about certain counties. And they're asking about certain machines now. Now that everything's come to light. We've got to fix this now. We've got a runoff coming up here in January, and we can't have the same system in place for that one. Because that would be a fraudulent vote again that we would allow to happen. We can't allow this. We can't. And you ask, well, why are they running around and doing these hearings? Why are they doing it anyway? Because like one lady said today, her husband says it's a waste of time to go talk to them if they're going to do what they're going to do. Of course, that sounds like my wife. They're going to do what they're going to do. Well, the reason they're doing it now is so you and I can see it. The reason they're doing these hearings is so the nation can hear it and understand what's going on, what the evidence is.
Now, everyone, once you see it and you understand what's going on, just because they have the hearing and they've made things public doesn't mean something's going to happen. There's a thing called public outcry. And unless you speak out, and I'm not saying you got to run out in the street and start screaming and shouting or grab whatever and, do violent things. What you need to do is you need to speak out to your representatives, state and federal. Reach out to the Supreme Court. Do it via email. Be at least a keyboard warrior. In fact, we need a ton of keyboard warriors.
Yes, we do.
Now. That's exactly how the Democrats and the Progressive Party does it.
Yeah.
They keyboard the hell out of businesses when they threaten these boycotts and they get these sponsors to pull out. It's because they sent a multitude of emails. We need to speak out. There has to be a public outcry to get these congressmen, senators, and Supreme Court judges to pay attention. If you have public outcry and it's strong enough, you can make things happen.
Exactly, OG. Everybody, this is the reason we're asking you to contact the Supreme Court en masse, because what they could do is just refuse to hear it. They could go do it like everybody else is saying, hey, well, there's not enough voter fraud there. We can't find it. So guess what? We're not going to hear it. We've got to have that public outcry. And this weekend, December 5th, OG, there are Trump trains and rallies and stuff that are going to be going on all across the country. Participate, because I guarantee you we will. We will. Get out there and join one of them no matter where you're at. Be loud and be proud, man. This is a fight for your country. It really is. And OG, I see every night, Right Side Broadcasting, those are those young kids that started back in 2016 when Trump started doing his rallies. And these kids followed them around, and they showed you the rallies on the internet from start to finish. The entire thing. There was no guessing. There was no 30-second clips like you get from the news media and some talking head that's trying to tell you what you saw or what you heard with your own ears and eyes. You were able to see it all in its entirety and the whole speech and the whole rally. But what they're doing now, they're having prayers every night when the rally is not going on. But I would say to them, because they have hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters in their database, what they need to start doing now is holding massive rallies all across the country and in front of the Supreme Court. That's what I think they need to be doing. And I will make an effort to contact them and tell them just that. They've got a huge database of conservatives and Trump supporters. They need to be organizing. That's what they need to be doing. Organizing. That's what we all need to be doing. So join us.
Even if it's on the keyboard.
Yes. It's so important, is to send a shockwave out across the nation. That's what we're talking about. Ah, it
It's frustrating.
it is something else. It is frustrating as hell. It is frustrating as hell. Hey, let me say something about the video I put out yesterday that YouTube threw such a fit about. And, that guy in that video, and I'm sure you guys have, you attempted to watch it the other night when I posted it and had an echo in it. Well, I went back and I edited that video and also put into that I produced a video. I put into it the guy again without the echo. You can watch that thing in its entirety at Texas Biker Radio, texasbikerradio.org, in the news and comments section. It's called Quarantine Truth. And we welcome you to go look at that. That was an incredible piece. And really, all that guy was doing was stating his opinion about it, of what we've been told and what we've seen going on. And he did bring up some things that is just common sense. It's not good for you to wear a mask all the time and breathing back in your bodily fluids. And most of the people, OG, are wearing the damn things wrong. They're wearing them wrong, and they're wearing them for days and weeks on end, the same mask. What did your doctor, you got a nephew that's a doctor, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he tell you that, hey, every time they go in and out or whatever they do, they change the mask quite
That's
often?
Right. That's right. They change them all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, you're touching your mask when you take it off after you've been shopping. When you go to a restaurant, where are you putting the mask? I usually lay mine on the table.
Yeah.
That's because I'm hoping, it got wiped down. But the issue is also, I have to confess, I've been wearing the same mask now for 2 months.
See what I mean? See what I mean, guys?
The only time I change it is when the frickin' rubber band breaks.
Yeah.
That goes around your ear.
Yeah.
Hell, I sneeze into it, cough into it. Been around people that have had COVID while I was wearing that mask. I just keep it, Hell, I might put it in a shadow box after this is all done.
And if you got a cloth mask, which a lot of places are selling those, you see somebody walking around there with a real cool mask with an emblem on it, or maybe it's just all black or whatever, I got one.
Oh, hell. I had, let's see, for my supplemental insurance, I've got Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
They sent me a cloth mask with their handy-dandy logo.
How in the hell did I not get one?
I don't know.
He's always getting the breaks.
And I've got Humana for my drug part. They sent me a mask.
I didn't get one. Oh, gee, I'm going to have to call them up.
It's kind of like a hoodie, huh?
Yeah. Hell yeah. It took me forever to get this hoodie I'm so proud of. Oh, yeah. But, we both get the same cancer, and I'm the one that gets the hell. His was on his head, right there, and mine was on my tongue. That sucked, everybody. Disfigured me and changed my speech for life. It's the reason I have to think about words before I say them. Sometimes they don't come out right, right?
I just look like I was in a knife fight.
Yeah. So it's a crazy world out there, and Dr. Fauci had admitted they lied about the mask in the beginning, telling us not to wear them. Remember that? because they were afraid we'd buy up all the masks and the PPEs and the people the people out there on the front lines wouldn't have them.
Hell, now you can buy them in the dollar store.
Yeah,
2 for 50 cents.
right.
Or
Still can't get an N95 like that though.
Oh,
That
no,
cheap.
no, no.
But that's what they did. They lied to us. They lied to us. Not giving us credit. Not giving us credit that the guys on the front lines need them worse than anybody.
Have you noticed all the masks are made in China?
Oh yeah. China's making money.
Yep.
And
Go out and look at any mask box, Home Depot, Lowe's,
Yeah.
the grocery store, and 9 times out of 10. In fact, I have yet to find a box that wasn't marked made in China.
You know what I would do? I would go ahead and just, and we showed you on a video how to make a mask. It's still there at Texas Biker Radio. Go make your own mask instead of buying that China shit.
Now, our chapter president in the Hill Country has a cool looking mask.
Uh-oh.
He went to Sturgis,
Oh, man.
and they were selling masks up there that looked like a thong. Matches his cut, though. It's all black.
A thong mask, guys.
And he wears it in public.
Yeah. So, what else is Fauci lied about in the CDC? We got the WHO out there that's now saying, hey, it's okay to send kids to school. It's okay to send them to school. It has been since the beginning. Children don't spread this thing. They don't. Low percentage of, very low percentage of them even get it. But the teachers' unions and the teachers and OG, this wasn't about that they were worried about COVID or the China virus. What they wanted to do is add to the chaos to make people suffer. Because that is what this is all about. It's about causing chaos. You heard me talk about George Soros when he said in a recent interview that you make it so tough on the people, you cause so much chaos that they will do things that are not necessarily good for themselves. We had that going on, and then when we heard Hillary say, do not concede to Joe Biden. That announcement right there should have told the Attorney General Barr and the FBI and other government entities that are supposed to protect our country. That should have turned them on that the fix was in. Yet, they now say they can't find any fraud or any massive fraud in massive scales. And George Soros, you're right, Ghost Eagle, is paying for all this stuff. He's paying for those kids that are out in the streets every night. He's paying for the lawyers that go get them out of jail. He has thrown his money in behind all these attorneys, city and state attorneys all across the nation. He put money behind them, putting them into office, and it worked. It worked. George Soros is an enemy of this country. He is an enemy. And I do believe he spends most of his time offshore. He's not even around here. It's a miracle that Russia or some of these other countries that he collapsed their economies haven't caught up to him. And his sons. But, like I said, what other lies are out there that we don't know about? And right now, it's still more the same, OG. Chaos every night, These protests are still going on in these cities every night. We have news agencies like CNN, who have people as guests on, threatening to kill us. And and that just really, really pisses me off to no end. To no end. But we had Fauci and Zuckerberg on a news program the other day talking about the coronavirus, China virus, masks and everything else. What the hell does Zuckerberg know about this? He's not a virologist. He's a guy invented a web platform called Facebook. He's not a scientist. That's like Bill Gates. What they do, OG, is they bring their money and buy their way in.
I rank them the same as you do these Hollywood idiots that want to voice an opinion. Who the hell cares?
Mm-hmm.
They're, they've made money. They laugh all the way to the bank. That's great. But in my book, they don't know crap when it comes to this. They probably know less than we do.
They go and buy their way in and try to have influence. But you know the bottom line, OG, why they're there? Money.
Follow the money.
Money. Because there's nothing like being able to sell something around the globe. Just think of the billions of doses of medicines. When something happens, it goes out from these pharmaceutical companies, and they're trying to get in on it. And of course, Bill Gates, he's probably already killed enough people with his goofy ideas. Matter of fact, India threw him out for the experimentations they were doing there. Oh, yeah. Killed a bunch of young girls, from what I heard. Mm. It's crazy. Yeah, look it up. Look it up.
Media doesn't cover it, though.
No, they don't tell you. They're part of it. They're part of it. They're part of the people that want to do this massive reset. This massive reset.
Well, some of the media situation probably went to hell when most of it got bought up by a few individuals.
Yeah.
Now it's controlled by money.
Exactly.
You have very few, there's a lot of media outlets out there, but what a lot of people don't understand is it's like a spider web. It all goes back to some central figure that's got the money.
Yeah.
And he's the one that controls it. He signs the paychecks. He tells them what he wants and where he wants it, or they're out. And these ballless, call themselves correspondents and journalists, won't stand up. They cower down and they do what they're told. And the other problem is probably 3/4 to 80% of them believe in it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the way they were brought up in school and in college. Brain damaged.
Yeah, that's true.
Sorry about that, brain damage.
Yeah. Kids are coming out of college with brain damage, and there's a bunch of them in Seattle and other places.
Well, Rush Limbaugh always refers to him as mushhead.
Yeah, yeah.
Very appropriate.
Wow. Here's the deal, guys. President Trump said something tonight, OG, that is the truth of it. He said tonight he said tonight, guys, they're not coming after me. They're coming after you. They're coming after our country. They're coming after our money. They're coming after our Constitution. They're coming after our guns. They're coming after our independence. Now, I do believe they're going to be coming after Trump too, because they are going to want to destroy him.
They're going to worry about him running again.
That and organizing either the Republican Party or a new party. And they can't have him around. They can't have us around. And they are eventually not going to be able to have those people that are in the streets every night. They're not going to be able to have them around.
That's right.
Because the people in the streets every night don't like Joe Biden neither. But they all are about the reset. You know, it's OG, it's incredible that Antifa says they're against fascism, but they are fascist. They don't realize that they are the fascist. It's an incredible thing we're seeing.
And listen, don't believe that if Trump ends up out of office and Biden takes over, don't think this COVID thing's going to go all away. They've been using it to set everybody up to control you. Strike fear in the hearts of the average citizen. And you talk to a number of people out there's a lot of scared people out there. Shit, you see them driving around on the road in their car by themselves with a frickin' mask on. What does that tell you? That individual is scared. You run into some people, in the grocery store, different stores. And some people, I'm glad to say not a whole hell of a lot, but you run across some people that are really scared and a lot of other people that are pissed off.
Yeah.
Don't want to wear a mask anymore. Saying this whole thing is bullshit, but they're being compliant. They are being compliant. And that gets into my favorite subject.
Yeah.
My very favorite subject.
Massive disobedience.
That's right. Public disobedience.
Yeah.
Now, easy thing to do. And if enough of you do it, they can't do a frickin' thing about it. They cannot do anything about it. So think about that. I mean, we want you to be thoughtful of other people. I'm not saying don't wear a mask and get up into someone's face, because you don't know if they've got they've got it. Be respectful of others, but let the politicians know we've had enough of this horse shit.
Yeah. And you're right, Napa, Sunnyberry. Yeah, you're right. Wow. You know what I talked about organizing, and there are 70 million Trump supporters out there. If this thing goes down and they manage to get Biden into office, he will never be my president as the way things stand right now, because the election was fraudulent. He will never be my president, and I will let him know it. I will let the Democrats know it every day, every week, until we get rid of them. Now, the way I see it, OG, we've got this runoff coming up. If the worst happens and they do install this crook into office, we've got to battle them every step of the way. And when the midterms come around, we have to make sure that the election is fraud-free, and that's going to be tough. And we need to throw most of the people, most of the son of a guns that are in office right now out. And I would include Republicans because they don't know how to fight. We see Democrats that close ranks every time. And they'll fight tooth and toenail. They'll send their minions out to do their bidding. And we try and be nice guys. We've got to match fire with fire. I'm talking about politically. It's what we got to do. And we've got to be ready in the next election cycle to take our country back. This is a hard thing to do, and it's a hard sell because most people just go, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. Bullshit. Because OG, at times, our little old club, we've moved mountains.
We certainly have.
Yes, we have.
Took time, took diligence, but by God, we did it.
That's right. I mean, we got a crooked DA down there in Waco thrown out of office, along with some help from our friends down in that area. We don't even live in that area.
As a matter of fact, I remember that DA. You put out some video about him that was you talked disparagingly,
yeah,
which was appropriate. But I remember him putting out in a newspaper article, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's not even from here."
Yes, he said that. I knew we had him when he attacked me, that we were getting to him.
Yep, he that just about knocked me off my chair.
Yeah.
When I saw him personally attack you.
Yeah.
Little old you up here in DFW.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
He probably has your picture with several darts in it.
Yeah, he does now. And now he's, I don't know, he's doing a trademark. He's a trademark lawyer.
But I'll tell you, that's what a bunch of lowly bikers can do.
That's right.
If you think about it, it doesn't take a great number. The original Sons of Liberty weren't that many.
No.
And the Loyal Nine, who basically started them, were only 9 people.
That's right.
On top of, well, they had their mechanics, the Paul Revere and crew that were kind of an auxiliary unit or an adjoining unit to them. And a lot of people don't really understand how that all worked. We do.
Yeah.
Because we understand it. And if you, there's some articles that we have posted at the very beginning of some of our Facebook pages that talk about the Boston Tea Party, who was involved, and kind of how they did it. It's kind of interesting reading, and you might start getting yourself ready by reading some of that stuff so you understand what we're talking about when we say this is what we got to do, this is how we got to go about it. It doesn't take a whole lot of us. It only took 3% of the population of the colonies to do the Revolutionary War. So, you know, we're not expecting to gather up hundreds of thousands of people here. We're expecting to gather up basically a patriot army.
Yeah.
An army of patriots, not big in number, But a strong-willed patriot will outdo 100 to 1.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. And Iron Horse, I see right there, we are in a new revolution, and we're behind. We're behind. That's part of the problem. Republicans put us behind because of their behavior. So we're looking for patriot warriors, constitutionalists, that are ready to organize, and let's get it on. Let's get it on. We got a lot of work to do. Number one is try and reverse what we see going on here. We've got to clean up the election process. That's a must. And we've got to organize like hell. So we have a shot of saving this country from a worldwide entity that wants to control everybody. And I don't know how that sits well with the American public, who loves their freedom. Because, like the president said, they're coming for us.
Whole lot of people out there are going to get an education.
Yes.
Here shortly.
Yeah.
If this goes wrong.
Yeah. They're gonna figure it out pretty quick. If they're installed into office and they start doing all their goofy ideas, that's going to cost tons and tons of money, free crap for everybody, including people not of this country. So we've got to be ready to battle every step of the way. We've got to be ready to fight everything they do. Because let me tell you, Joe Biden won this election without stating any policies. None. Nobody knows what in the hell he's going to do policy-wise. They haven't a clue. They have a clue about the New Green Deal, which is a disaster. We have an idea about hooking back up with the climate accords, which is a disaster. Trying to get rid of fossil fuels, which is a disaster when you're in an oil-based economy.
And there will be another Iranian deal.
Another Iranian deal. Let's be pals with Iran. Oh yeah.
Get that next pallet of cash ready.
Oh yeah. Think about this, everybody. Think about it. Now, in the coming days, we'll be posting probably a new Facebook site, provided they don't throw us off. Oh, and OG, I think that video of that guy talking about the masks and all that stuff, it's still floating around out there on Facebook.
Yep.
And YouTube had a fit about. Like I said, it's at TexasBikerRadio.org. Quarantine Truth. Go watch it. Go watch it. And plus, get the information about the Supreme Court, how to get hold of them, how to contact them. You can hit a link right there, and it'll take you to a place where you can email the Supreme Court. Now, what we'll do in the coming days, we're gonna send you the email of each Supreme Court justice. That will happen tomorrow, I do believe.
Excellent.
It's supposed to rain here tomorrow, I guess. That's what I heard. So, gives me something to do on a rainy day, right? And, of course, it was a beautiful day here in Texas. Again, a little bit chilly, a little bit windy. But it was a beautiful day. And, let me say one other thing, OG.
You saw me about to fire up.
Yeah. COVID is the China virus. Let me get it right. The China virus. You're going to run into it. It's either going to get into your club, your business, your relatives, your family. You're going to run into it. Be prepared. Don't panic. Go get tested if you get symptoms. There are plenty of young guys out there and gals that have no clue that they've even had it. And they have no clue that they may be a spreader. None. You're not going to know it. You're just not going to know it. We cannot go back into lockdown. That does more damage than the virus itself. And hospitals now have changed the way they treat this stuff since the beginning. They've learned a lot. You get it, they're going to give you a steroid treatment. They're going to give you an antibiotic pack. They're going to do all this stuff. And, of course, you need to be able to get yourself in as good a shape, health-wise, as you can, with extra vitamins, zinc, and everything else. You know, it's just what I've seen out there and what I know and what I took. I experienced it. Now, I do believe that people that are in bad shape, the people that are dying, they wait too long at home. Just my opinion. And I'm giving an opinion right now, YouTube, Facebook, based on what I know and what I experienced as a China virus victim, and we're all victims. We're all victims. China needs to pay. I'm just saying. And that hag, Nancy Pelosi, needs to get a stimulus package out there now. There are people that are needing money. She needs to do it now. She don't need to wait till January 20th when she thinks Joe Biden will be installed as president. He won't be my president. Oh, hell no. No.
I just may leave my Trump flag up for the next 4 years.
I'm going to do the same thing. Yep, right there.
Yep.
Yep.
My neighbors have not taken down their Trump signs either.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that jerk around the corner that put the Biden signs up right after the election. Now, again, this guy around the corner had no signs in his yard up to and including Election Day.
Yeah.
The day after Election Day, he's got 3 or 4 signs in his front yard, which, hey, you know, I'm okay with that. It's his right. It's what he believes in.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not tamper with his signs to save my soul because I wouldn't want somebody tampering with mine. But he's a gutless wonder. He won't, you know, he didn't have the guts or the balls or the spine to stand up before the election and say, hey, this is what I believe and this is who you ought to be voting for. So, ever since all this hell has been raised now about the possibility of an illegitimate election and illegal activities, all of a sudden his signs have disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
They're gone.
Oh, yeah.
We all still have our Trump signs. We've had them there from day one. I got 2 flags hanging from a tree in my yard, and by God, they're not coming down.
Hey, it's kind of like Dominion employees and the presidents and everybody else. They're all on the run. They're gone. Can't find them. So they're not suing anybody. All these statements being made about them, they're not taking up for themselves. They're not suing anybody. Why? Would that be? Because there's such a thing as discovery. Yeah.
No, I would say The reason for the lockdowns is not for COVID. The reason for the lockdowns is to control the populace,
There you go.
the population. That's what they're doing. We're going through a control exercise. And anybody that doesn't recognize that is in danger. Recognize it for what it is. The guy in the video that Popeye's talking about, when he talks about quarantine, and, you know, they seem to use the word quarantine a lot from the CDC and Fauci and all these other frickin' idiots. Think about it. When you quarantine something, it's because they're sick.
Yeah.
That word is used in the computer world. You quarantine viruses. It's used by veterinarians. You quarantine cattle or animals that have a sickness that can be spread. You quarantine human beings that are sick. You don't quarantine healthy people.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. It's stupid. So, you know, lockdown is nothing more than an exercise. It's the same thing as the frog in the beaker in the biology lab, where they put the frog in the beaker with the water and they turn on the heat, and it's a low flame, and they slowly heat up the water, and the frog doesn't know, you know, everything seems fine. The water gets hotter, frog doesn't know, and pretty soon the frog is boiled to death. Well, here we go. Real convenient COVID-19 with its initial lockdown and all these stats that are going out there just driving everybody crazy about these hundreds of thousands of people and millions of people that have it and that have died. We still don't see corpses stacked up on the curbs. Yeah, we know of some people that have died from it. We also know of people that have died from pneumonia, from influenza, but it's not being talked about. Only the COVID deaths. And there aren't that many. There are not that many at all. If you get into it and you read the statistics and how they put them together, it's a very finite number of people that die from it. So, you know, lockdown is control of the population, and that's how the government is going to keep doing it, and it's going to get worse. All of a sudden now, we've got curfews in some of these states starting at 10 o'clock at night. Now, what the hell's going on? Does COVID get worse after 10 p.m. at night until 5 in the morning? You know, your guess is as good as mine. But again, it's controlling the population. Get the word out, make people think about that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what YouTube thinks about it. Let me show you something, guys. This is quite interesting. So we're looking at here, what you're seeing here is from the CDC. So I want to know how many deaths there has been in Texas since the beginning. And what we're looking at here, in Texas, we have 13.7 million identified cases. And we've had, they said we had, let me see, it's the United States, we've had we have 1.26 million cases in Texas, and we've had 21,000, almost 22,000 deaths.
Out of 28 million people.
Yes, 29 million.
29
million people out of...
The rabbits have been busy.
Yeah. So, and if you look down there, it gives these different counties. And you see here, this is in the last, I think, 3 or 4 days. Harris County, 0. Dallas County, 3. Tarrant County, 0. El Paso, and I find this interesting because El Paso is being talked about a lot. A lot. And in the past 3 days, they've had 4 deaths. 4 deaths. In the past 4 days, they've had 475 new cases. Now, everybody's screaming about El Paso. Here, I don't see that it's, according to their numbers, it's not that bad. But it also proves what we were talking about. The hospitals are doing a great job of helping people recover. They really are. They really are. And if you look at it for the whole country, 13.7 million cases, and the deaths are 269,000. And over the last 4 days or 7 days, whatever this is, we've had 1,265 deaths out of 350 million. Those numbers are really, really low. And for school-age kids, it's non-existent. Non-existent. We're trying to shut entire states down we are not, everybody I see out there is wearing a mask. They're complying for the most part, except for they're not going to go back into lockdown. And I don't know how they're getting away with it in these other states. I don't know how the citizens are putting up with it. I really don't. And Ironhead, I guess we got to come up to Michigan, I guess, and straighten things out. Or maybe form a chapter up there. How about that? Just saying, guys. Oh, gee, you got anything else? We've been on an hour talking about this BS.
Yeah, there's a neat thing you all ought to check out, and I'm not trying to plug a company in particular or for a particular reason, but I thought it was pretty cool. I get these emails all the time. It's called Fix My Hog, and it's a group of mechanics that has a business, and I guess the business name is Fix My Hog. He also has a motorcycle shop back on the East Coast. And what's pretty cool is they put out all these videos on how to do everything on your bike. Bleeding brakes, change a starter. I mean, hell, their library, let's call it the Library of Congress. Their video library is huge. I just got an email that said that would let me print out what all the Harley error codes are. So look them up. It's they got some kind of a special going on right now where you can be a member and watch the videos for $1.99 for the year. That's pretty damn cheap. And, you know, you pick up on a lot of things. We all like to wrench a little bit or a lot, depending upon who you are. And it might be worth looking at.
Yeah. Hey, you can almost fix anything because of the internet now, because they'll show you how to do it, whether it's plumbing or electrical work. Now, don't just go out there and electrocute yourself. But there are certainly a lot of things to learn. You know, there's a lot of bad things about the internet, and one of them is this election. But there are a lot of good things too. There is. Does the bad outweigh the good? You bet it does. You bet it does. If we somehow save our country, we somehow save this mess, we're going to go after them. We're going to tear them down. Is what we're going to do. Everybody, it's been our pleasure to be with you tonight. This is Texas Biker Radio, sponsored by Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who are defenders of the Constitution and people who've had their constitutional rights violated. And right now, that's 70 million people.
And climbing.
We will fight till we die. We are in the midst of the next revolution. It's going on right now. It's not a shooting war unless they make it that way. And they're going to send all kinds of people at us. Whether it be these morons in the streets or law enforcement itself. You must prepare yourself. You must stand up for your friends, for your family, for the guy next to you. Stand up for your country. Is what we're talking about here. Have a great evening.
Stay healthy.
If you don't have a motorcycle, buy one. You can come ride with us. Be safe, everybody. Be safe. And we could
Average
get...
watch time was up 17.